Today's interview is at Humberto Tasso house, one of the best well-known Magic Realism artists in Chile. Hello, Humberto. Thank you for having us today.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks. We're delighted to be here. So, I would like to start this interview by asking you a few questions, obviously relating to the art. And the first one is, what is the magic realism means for you?
Well, it has to do with dreams, it has to do with premonition, when you have foreseen something, somehow, and then it comes through the canvas, through the colors, and a mysterious alchemy, and then voila, you have a painting, and most of the time you really don't know what is the meaning of it. And after a while, you realize what was the meaning of that piece. That is in my case. I don't know other people's experience.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Humberto, and define art.
Well, that's something very special question, because it's like trying to define love. Many people for many years are trying to define that, and it's a very difficult thing. But I can say that art is something that you do somehow, and involving, of course, creativity and beauty and knowledge of doing, And if you go to the dictionary, means virtuous and uffici in Italian.
I see. What does your artwork represent? Does your art represent something about you?
Undoubtedly. It's coming from me, it's coming from inside, my inner experience, my inner world, so it probably will represent most of me, my life experiences, love, I don't know, dreams,
Interesting. Do you believe in reincarnation? And if you do, who would you like to invite, from your ancestors to come along and have a nice conversation with you?
Well, I would love to have many great people like Da Vinci's, for example. I would love to have Leonardo here and talk to him, or let him give me some tips of my work, and that will be delighted for me, because I've been reading his Tratado de la Pintura since I was a kid. When I was 15 years old, my mother gave it to me, and I fell in love immediately with a precise way of teaching how to understand nature in order to create,
I see. So it sounds you were very inspired by him.
Well, as a matter of fact, my firstborn child, my son, is called Leonardo.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
because
nice.
I really love Da Vinci's work. I have been in his house where he born in Vinci near Florence, and I did all the trip he did in his life, finishing his days in Amboise and Clou-Lucé, in the chateau in France.
I see. What connection do you have to your art? Is there a connection between your process and your artwork message?
Well, for example, this piece in which I'm working right now.
Yeah, why are you working right now?
I'm working in the ancestors. I mean, everybody has ancestors, and this is a Maya princess, and I'm working totally inspired by her ancestors. I think I'm just an instrument, and those ancestors are talking through me. They are painting this piece which is absolutely very, very special for me because it's totally different than the things I normally do, the colors and everything, the way she's emerging from the painting, the perspective of the body is totally different than what I'm used to do, you know. And this is I'm giving myself, I'm surrendered for the experience. And of course I believe in reincarnation. I know I have been here many times, and you do too, you know, and everybody, I think, that's what I believe.
If you have to choose one of the most important, you know, tools of yours in order to paint, what would be if you have to choose one of them?
One of the tools?
Yes.
Well, to see, this pen was make my scrambled eggs here. And I didn't want to throw it away, you know, because we are throwing away everything today. This is a very big problem in the world. And so I try to give a second use and third use to the thing. So this is my palette. And I really like it. I mean, I think it's a piece of art. I would like, you know, if I have to get something from this table, I would take this rather than take a pencil, because a pencil is, you know, it's already, there is many of them, whatever, it's not so much in it. But this is something special.
Well, totally. Well, what connection do you have to your art, and also, how do you know when a piece of work is finished?
Wow, that's a very difficult question to ask. To answer, because, wow, I have paintings that I painted a long time ago, like 10 years or something, and I still have the feeling that there's something more inside that is asking me to do in order to get it out, you know. It's a very difficult question. Sometimes you overdone a piece, and I think with music it's the same, with ballet, with literature, with sculpture, with everything. And you don't notice, so you have to be very aware the fact that if you overdone, maybe you can screw up. Sorry.
I see. Okay. And Humberto, finally, is there anything else I would like to say to those people who wants to become an artist like you, and they are not brave enough to do it? What would you advise to them?
Well, you gotta believe in yourself. You have to believe in your dreams, because this is the big possibility of dreams is that they become true. I will tell them, just go for it. I mean, dare to be different. Believe in yourself and go for it all the way until the end. That's what I will do. That's what I will say.
Well, thank you very much for having us today. It has been lovely meeting you, and I would like to congratulate to your art. It's looking absolutely lovely.